Welcome to the video tutorial on the topic AWT controls. This is the second session on this topic AWT controls. The course outcome is after studying this topic you will be able to develop applets and GUI programs in Java, and you will be able to handle events of various controls like button, checkbox group, choice, list, text area, text field, etc. In the first session, we have familiarized AWT controls like label, button, checkbox and checkbox group. In this session, we will be familiarizing AWT controls choice, list, scroll bar, text field and text area. Let's watch or understand each control in detail. First one is choice control. What is choice control? It is a form of menu. Using this class or using this control, we are able to create a pop-up list of items and user can choose items from that list. If it is inactive, it will show only currently selected item, and only when user clicks on that control, the whole list of choices will pop up and we can make new selections, and each item will appear as a left justified label, and it is only a default constructor. If you want to add items to that choice list, we can use the method add, and argument is name. You have to pass name of the item to that add method. Items are added to the list in the order in which it calls add. And if you want to know which item is currently selected, you can use either get selected item method or get selected index method. Get selected item method will return the name of the item you have selected, and get selected index will return the position of the item you have selected. If you want to obtain the number of items in the list, we can use get item count. Also, we can select an item through the program using select method. And the item you want to select, you have to pass either index of the item or name of that item to select method. If you give an index to get item method, that method will return name associated with that item at that index. Suppose you give get item at position 1, it will return name of the item at position 1. So index here specifies index of the desired item. Next topic is how to handle events of choice. So whenever a choice is done, an item event is generated. We have studied item event in AWT event handling, and so in order to handle that, we have to register listeners. Listeners will be notified when an event is generated. Also, we have to implement the corresponding interface, and for item event, the interface we have to implement is item listener interface, and we have to define the method item state changed method. And an item event object will be supplied as argument to this method. So choice, when you select an item event is generated. We have to implement item listener interface, and item event object will be supplied as argument. Then this is a program which demonstrates a choice list. In order to create a choice, we have to import several packages like AWT package. To handle event, we have to import event package, and here we are creating choice on an applet window. So we are importing java.applet. Our class name is choice demo, and it extends applet, and we have to implement item listener interface because we are handling item event. So we want to implement item listener interface, and in this program we are creating two choices. One is for OS and second one is for browser, and these choices are created inside init method. So first one is OS. So we have to create a choice object named OS is equal to new choice. Second one browser choice. Then we have to add items to this choice list. First choice, we are adding items like Windows XP, Windows Vista, Solaris and Mac OS. And to second choice, we are adding names of browser, Internet Explorer, Firefox and Opera. Then we are adding both this choice list to applet window. Next thing we have to do is we have to register listeners for item event. So here we have to add item listener. So we are adding item listener to first choice, that is OS, and we are adding item listener to second choice, that is browser. Then here we have to define the item state changed method. Whenever an event is raised, this item state changed method will be invoked. It will in turn call repaint method. Inside the repaint method, we are displaying the currently selected item. os.getSelected item will return the selected item of choice OS. Browser.getSelected item method will return the selected item of browser choice. And this is a sample output from choice demo applet. As I told, there are two choices. One is Windows Vista and other one is Firefox. So here there are two choices, two choices, one is OS and one is browser. And when you click that choice, all the list items will be displayed. So if you click the browser choice, it will display the items like Internet Explorer, Firefox and Opera. Here the selection made is Firefox, and in first choice the selection is Windows Vista. So whenever you make an event or whenever you select an item event will be generated and item state changed method will be invoked, and that method will display the currently selected item. So in the first choice the selected item is Windows Vista, and in the second choice the selected item is Firefox, and those two items will be displayed whenever you make a selection. Next control is list. It is similar to choice, but there are some basic differences. In the first method, we can select only one item at a time. But in this control, that is a compact multiple choice scrolling selection list. You can make multiple choice. That is the main difference between choice and list. In choice, we can make only one selection. In list, we can make multiple choice. Unlike the choice object, which shows only a single selected item, a list object can be constructed to show any number of choices in the visible window. That means in choice, we know that only one item will be displayed when it is inactive. Only when you click the choice, the remaining items will be displayed. But choice object is not like that. It can be constructed to show any number of choices in the visible window. We can set how many choices to be displayed in the window. It has three constructors. One is list, second one is list with num rows, third one is list with num rows and a boolean value, that is multiple select. So first version will create a list control which allows only a single selection at a time. Second one, we can specify num rows. It specifies number of entries in the list that will be visible when that is displayed. Suppose we are making num rows to 4, then 4 entries will be displayed. And in the third case, there is a multiple select boolean value. If it is true, it permits any number of choices at a time. That is, it permit the user to select 2 or more items at a time. If it is false, then only one item may be selected. So if it is false, choice and list behave similarly. That is, one item can be selected at a time. If multiple select is made true, the user can select 2 or more items at a time. Other methods are to add items to the list. We can use add method. Also, it allows us to add item at a specific position. For that, we can make use of second method, add with str and index. Second form, add item at index specified by index argument. Next method is get selected item. It will return the string which is selected. But if you have selected more than one item, or if no selection is made, the return value will be null. That means list allow you to make more than one selection. And if you are using get selected item and if you have made multiple selection, then output value will be null. Get selected index will return the index of the selected item. In that case also, if you have not selected any item or if you have made multiple selection, -1 will be returned. Then for multiple selection list, if you use get selected items, it returns an array of currently selected item, string array of currently selected item. If you use get selected index, it returns an array containing indexes of currently selected items. Get item count will return the number of items in the list. And if you want to select any item at a particular index, we can use the method select. If you want to know the total number of items in that list, we can use get item count. And if you want to know the name of an item associated with a particular index, we can use get item. Suppose get item of 1 will return the item at index position. This program demonstrates list, and we are displaying list on an applet window. So you have to import applet package. Our program name is list demo. So when you select items, action event will be generated. So you have to implement action listener. Here also we are creating two lists. One is for OS, other is for browser. And it is created as follows. OS is equal to new list 4 and value true. 4 means number of num rows. That means number of values that will be visible when this list is created. True means it allows multiple selection. For browser, that multiple select value is false. That means it permits only to select only one item at a time. Then the items we are adding to the list using add method. We are adding 4 items to the first list. In the second list we are adding 3 items. And another important thing is browser.select1. That means the Firefox option, that is item at position 1 is Firefox, that will be automatically selected when the window is displayed. Then we are adding both list to window, applet window. And here to receive action events, we have to register listeners. So we are adding action listener to both OS list and browser list. Then the method to be defined is action performed. It receives action event object whenever any item is selected, or when you make changes in the selection, action performed event will be generated. Action event will be generated, and this method will be invoked. It will in turn call repaint method. Inside repaint method, we are fetching the selected items using get selected indexes. If multiple selection is made, we are using get selected indexes. If it does not permit multiple selection, we have to use get selected item. If multiple selection is made, we are iterating through that index array and displaying each one which all are selected. So when you run this program, the output like this. There are two lists. First one is OS list, second one is browser list. And when you make a selection, action event is generated and action, that method is invoked. It will paint or call repaint method. It in turn make the proper appropriate displays like which one is currently selected OS and which is a currently selected browser. Here Windows Vista is selected and Internet Explorer is selected. The next control is scroll bar. You all know what is a scroll bar. And scroll bar is used to select continuous values between a specified minimum and maximum. We can specify the minimum height, minimum value and maximum height of a scroll bar if it is a vertical scroll bar, or in the case of horizontal scroll bar, we can have to specify the maximum width, and it generate adjustment event whenever you click the arrows of a scroll bar, or when you drag or when you do something on the scroll bar arrows, adjustment event will be generated. And there are two styles of scroll bar, either horizontal or vertical. And these are the constructors with no arguments. A constructor with no argument creates a vertical scroll bar, and we can specify the style using argument style. And third constructor have values like initial value, thumb size, int min and int max. We have to specify all these values. Then if we want to know the minimum value, we can make use of get minimum method. Then what is the maximum value of that scroll bar, we can use get maximum. If you want to know the current value of the scroll bar, get value can be used. Then whenever you move the scroll bar arrow up or down, the default change is 1. That is increment added will be 1, or it will be decremented by 1. When you move up the scroll bar, it will be increment added is 1, or when you move down, decrement made is also 1. And page up increment is 10 pixel and when it is scrolled up. And as I told, whenever you when you click or drag the arrows, it erases adjustment event. So you have to implement adjustment listener interface. And the method to be defined is get adjustment type. These are the 5 types of events raised. a block decrement, block increment, track, unit decrement or unit increment. Block decrement means a page down event. Block increment means page up event. Unit decrement means the line down button in a scroll bar has been pressed. Unit increment means line up button in a scroll bar has been pressed. Height of the applet window, it is 200. Here in the second case, we are specifying 0 as the minimum value and width is 300. Then we have to register to receive adjustment events. We are registering adjustment listener to both scroll bar. Also we are handling mouse motion event. So we have to add mouse motion listener to define the methods. And for adjustment listener, we are defining adjustment value changed method. Whenever the scroll bar arrow is pressed or page up or down is made, adjustment value changed method will be invoked. It will in turn call repaint method. And whenever you make mouse dragged method will be invoked. So you have to define that method, and we are retrieving the position of the mouse, horizontal position and vertical coordinate. And when the event is raised, it in turn called paint method. Using the paint method, we are displaying the vertical position of the scroll bar and horizontal position of the scroll bar using vertical scroll bar dot get value method and horizontal scroll bar dot get value, and both these messages are displayed. So this is the sample output window. When you run this program, you get a window like this. It has two scroll bar, horizontal as well as vertical. When mouse is dragged, the messages are displayed. Vertical position and horizontal position is displayed. Then next control is text field. You all know what is a text field. It is also known as a text box, and we can make a single line text entry. This is a single line text entry area. It allows us to enter strings, also edit the text using arrow key. We can make copy something or cut something. It also supports mouse selection. It generates action event. It has constructors like text field, default constructor, then text field with one argument, that is string str, that value get displayed when that text field is created. Then we can also specify the width of the text field, how many characters we can enter using num character. So first version creates a default text field, second one creates a text field that is num character wide. Third form initializes a text field to the string value contained in str. And here text field is a subclass of text component. And if you want to obtain the string contained in the text field, you can call getText. If you want to set the text, you can use set method. Then user can select a portion of a text in the text field. You can select a portion of text under program control by using select method. And if you want to know obtain the currently selected text, we can use get selected text method. And if you want to use select method, you have to specify the start index and end index, from which position to till which position we have to make the selection. Then we can determine whether the text box is editable or not by using isEditable method. It returns a boolean value. If it returns true, that means that text field can be changed. And if it is false, it cannot be changed. And we can make a text box or text field editable or not by using setEditable. If setEditable true is passed, the text inside the text box can be changed. And also, if you want to disable the echoing of characters, especially when you are entering password, we can make so by using setEchoChar. It specifies a single character that will display when characters are entered. That means if you are entering password, in the screen it will be displayed as star or it may be question mark. Actual character typed will not be shown. And to check whether a text field is like that, we can use echoChar is set method. And we can retrieve the echo character by using getEchoChar method. Then this is an example program that demonstrates a text field. Here also we are using an applet window. We have to extend applet and also we have to implement action listener, because here action event is generated. Here we are using two text field, name and path. And first a label is displayed with the name and text field is displayed near to that label. We are creating 2 label and 2 text field, and here echo character is set as question mark. So whenever you type anything on the text field pass, the echo character displayed will be question mark. Then we have to add all these components to applet. So add name p, add name, all this, add labels and your text field to the applet. Next thing is we have to register listeners to receive action event. We have to register action listener to both text field. So if you run this program, the output will be displayed like this. There are 2 labels, name and password. There are 2 text field. Inside the text field we can enter value, and when you enter value and press enter key, action event will be generated. Then we will be displaying the name of the, we will be displaying the text entered in the name text field and text entered in the password text field. And in the password text field we have set the echo character to question mark. That is why the question marks are displayed. And selected text, selected text is from 6th position till end of this text field. And next control is text area. This is similar to text field, but it implements multi-line text editor. You can enter multiple lines, and it also generates action event. The constructors are text area with a string, text area with, we can specify the number of characters and height of the text area. And if you are specifying str, then a text area will be displayed with that values. S bar indicates if you type of scroll bar you want in the text area. If you want both scroll bar, you can specify S bar as scroll bar both. So num line specifies height, that is number of lines in the text area. Num character specifies width, that is width in character. Initial text can be specified by this string str. And if you want to specify the type of scroll bar you want to have, we can use S bar. It can have one of these value, either scroll bars underscore both, or scroll bar none, or horizontal or vertical. Text area is a subclass of text component. So it support methods like get text, set text, get selected text, etc. Then other methods of text area are append, insert, replace, range. Append method appends the string specified by str at the end of the current text. Insert inserts the string passed in the str at a specified index. And if you want to replace the text, you can use replace range. It replaces the characters from start index till end index -1. And that characters are replaced with text passed in str. Then the program to demonstrate text area. Here also we are making use of applet window. At init, we are initializing the text as these values. Then we are creating a text area named text with this string, and num lines is 10 and width is up to 30 character. Then you have to add that text to applet. Here we are not handling any event. So when you run this program, the output will be like this. Both scroll bars are enabled, horizontal and vertical scroll bars are enabled. So in this session we familiarized AWT controls like choice, list, text field, text area, and also we familiarized event handling using these controls. And controller controls are components that allow the users to interact with our application. And for example, button is a control, choice is a control, list is a control, checkbox group, etc. are various AWT controls. So we have explored abstract window toolkit and familiarized standard controls of AWT. Thank you.